Today we're going to take a 2D drawing of a Piper Cub and make a 3D model out of it. Let's get started. So on this website, AeroFred, I typed in Piper Cub and up pops right here, Piper Cub. This is 70 by 70.9 inches total width. So we can always scale this down too. But here is the 2D of it. I'm going to download this, so we can just go down here and hit download plan. Okay, it's going to download to my downloads, and I'm going to open up that PDF, and I'm going to start tweaking the PDF and take a screenshot of it, and then I can modify those screenshots and get rid of, you know, the excessive lines that I don't need. So let's close this. Let's open up my PDF now. All right, now I got my PDF open. Now I'm going to go to the second page, and I'm going to do a screenshot of this guy. So I'm going to concentrate on this guy right here, and let's make sure I get all of that. So I'm going to hover over there. There we go. So we're going to get everything. We don't need the front of the motor, and we don't actually need this, but I'm just going to include it. So I'm going to get this screenshot as close as I can to that very front tip of that motor. All right, so there we are. I'm going to save this. All right, we're going to throw this image into my preferred image editing program. And I want to, I can do some zooms and stuff like that. And this will allow me to get rid of the excess information that I don't need. Go through this and we'll get rid of the extra stuff that we don't want. So we're going to go over here with our brush. We're going to choose a rather large brush, not that big. And we're just going to go through here and delete this, but I actually want it white. Let me click right there. I'm going to go with the just white. Where's 100% white? That's gray. The perfect white. There we go. All right, we can check. Say okay. All right, just kind of erasing this stuff. And if you erase too much, you can always Control Z and undo that. And I like to click a lot because when you click, it starts a new copy or erase command. So if you hold down the mouse button and erase everything at one time, and you make a mistake, you're going to like that. Control Z only erases that, so it only does a Control Z on that area right there. Perfect. Okay, just kind of going through here, cleaning this stuff up. Now the only reason I'm doing this is it cleans up the import, and you don't get all confused when you're seeing all these lines. So if you don't care about that, then you don't have to do this. All right, that looks pretty good, I think. But get rid of that right there. Perfect. Okay, so now I'm going to do the save on this, and we're going to do that to the other two sides. All right, I don't want to save it as that. I actually want to save it as like a PNG. So I'm going to do a export as, and then put it into this area right here. So side, PNG, export, and it's going to overwrite the first one, which is fine. All right, let's go do that with the second images now. Now we got the top view. Let's do a file, or let's do a screenshot of that. Save. All right, let's get rid of all the excess information in this one. It doesn't have to be perfect. And I'm going to slide through that right there. I don't need all that information. And there we are. So I'm going to do a save file export on that. Okay, next one. We're going to do one of these wings. So let's do a screenshot of that. I'm going to cancel that. I want just a screenshot of this guy right here. And that one's pretty good. Just keep it as is. We're going to mirror that, so that's fine. And last but not least, we're going to do the tail section. So that's this guy. Capture this one right here. And we erase some of that information in the tail. Oops. We do file, export. And I reopened this one. I want to make sure that I'm cropping it right to that edge right there. We're cropping this guy in and this guy in right here. So we want to see that very tip of that. We just want this touching that tip. Perfect. I think that's good. Let's save right on top of it. Let's get rid of some of the stuff in here. And notice, I did a goof. No, not the goof. Let's zoom in. We get too big of a circle, so we can always go down here to size and change the size. But I'm going to be concentrate mostly on the body size right here. We don't need all this. Yeah. This is bracing. That's all. That is the end of it. Might as well keep that in there. Remember, this is a half scaled. Let me undo that. So when we install that, when we put this image into it, we're gonna have to half place half of it. So right now we need to go with, like, looks like dead center is kind of right there. So let's go and create. Let's crop this down. Actually, we'll probably have to. Cropping down in this software is, let me do a rectangular shape. We're gonna do copy paste. I'm gonna zoom in here, grab right there. Okay, perfect. Let me zoom out, grab this box, pull them out. Okay, there we go. So that's going to be our origin point right there. Let's copy that. Let's go with a new. I want to do white background. White. Paste. Okay. Now we're going to file, export. Let's start importing this into Onshape now. Now that we have Onshape open, we got a free subscription. So let's go to create, and we're going to document. We're going to type in Piper. All right. Next, we're going to work on importing our views. So let's go over here to insert new tab. We're going to grab import, and we're going to do our imports here. We're going to do side, tail, top one, wing, and wing edge. Open. Okay, we can take this and pull it in. Now these images are loaded on the very bottom. Let's go and place them in the perspective, the correct plane. So I'm going to click on front here, but I'm going to put sketch on my front. Let's click on the front right there, and let's pull in my front view. So what I'm going to do is import my front now. So I'm going to go over here and then insert image. Click on front. I don't have front on here. I don't have front. All right, let's import the front. Import. Where's front? There's front. Open. All right, so now we can do that front import image front. There we go. And we're going to click right there. What we're going to do is that locked it into position when they did that. So I'm going to click on this guy, hit delete. Now I'm going to drag and drop this guy, and I want this origin right here, right on those crosshairs right there. That looks great. Remember, this was half scale, so what I'm going to do is take this, and I'm missing the very end of it, so I actually can't even do that properly. So what I will do is I will rescale this in a little bit. Right now I'm going to leave this as is. Okay, we'll scale it with another view. Okay, because we're missing half of the piece of the Piper. All right, let's go with top view now. So top is right here. So we're going to click top, click on the top there. Let's do a, actually way over here, we're going to do sketch on top, insert image, and then top right here, top one. We're just going to click and pull it out, and we want to do a rotation on this. So I didn't click on the origin. What I'm going to do is a rotate on this guy. So let's rotate this guy here. Let's click on that guy and let's make him horizontal. That should snap it. All right, it's complaining. When it turns red, it starts to complain. So let's click here and we're going to delete that. Now let me do that. Okay, so now I'm going to go down to this edge right here, and I want to put the edge right there. Looks pretty good. Maybe a tiny bit more. There we go. We want it nearly perfect there. Okay, so this is kind of the most important part of this. Okay, we want to line all three of those views up, and now we can get this length of this. So the length of it, let's go to the Piper PDF and scroll in here, and the length of this guy is 1120. So let's remember that. And I'm going to make that 1120, but I'm going to tell it to go to that point right there. So I'm going to insert a point right here. Point right here. I'm going to put a point here too. There we go. And now that point is coincidence to the origin. Hopefully. I think it is. So let's go with D for dimension now. Now we're going to go from origin all the way to the end of the dot here. And we're going to put in the 1120. And it rescales it for us, okay? So this should be the proper scale. And origin stayed the same. We're only going to work on half of this guy, so we don't need to even worry about the other half. Let me see if I can't modify that. No, it's okay. Green check. That will lock it into place. So now we have two views. We have the first one, which is really, really tiny, but we're going to fix that here in a second. We're going to put in the last view. We're going to put in the right view now. So let's click right. Let's click sketch. Let's import the image, insert image, and we're going to insert the side one. Okay, and just kind of, I want to just click here and I want to flip it actually. So we want the mirror of this. We don't want to look at the tail. Okay. A little complications, but we'll figure this out. All right, let's go to Gimp. That's the one we're having the problems with. Let's flip this. So zoom out. Okay, there we go. We're going to do a image view image, and I want to do a mirror or a transform. Flip horizontally. There we go. Perfect. All right, let me do a file export as, I'm going to call this side 2. All right, now we're going to do a import side 2. Okay, so now it's imported. Now we're going to go to sketch, go to right, and we're going to do a import image. Select the image to be imported, and it's going to be side 2. Okay, and then just going to click and drag it out, and there we go. Now we're in the correct orientation. So let's go and position this properly. So our nose is going to be right onto there. Let me click on right here, and we want to match up the size, of course. So we need to pull this out, and we need to have the tip of this to there is going to be the 1120. So let me put a point here. And then we're going to put a point on the very end of it too. So right there. Let's look at that. It's a little bit farther than I thought. So I can just get out of that. And now I can drag and drop that right there. Okay, perfect. Let me take a look at the front. Looks good. Let's do a dimension now. This will scale it for us. Click on it. There we go. Come on. There to there. Perfect. 1120. Perfect. There we go. All right, so now we are scaled to the proper size. Now let's actually drag this. Okay, there we go. Now we're moving the image. Okay, I think that's pretty good. Let's take a look at the other views. So we got top view right there. And we got side view. Okay, I think they're pretty good. So now what we're going to do is we can go back to that front view. Where's my front? It's tiny. That's why you're not really seeing it well. So we got our two views and they're both aligned with each other. So now we can grab our front view and I can hide these guys if you want. Click on the eyeball to hide them. There's that guy. Now we gotta squeeze this guy, pull this guy out. Let's click on sketch one, pull this out. I'm just gonna realign that. And I'm going to put a couple dots on here. I want to go from here to here. We'll create a dimension. We're just going to put in a number, 1,000. All right, we're going to make sure this is lined up right here. Get out of that. Pull this over right there. We're going to pull our image over. A little blurry, but should work. Like I said, this is a tedious part, and finish that guy. So we just want to have these guys nearly perfect. Yeah, the wings will work on last, and it may be, really complicated because we don't have all of the necessary information to finish that wing. We can assume. So now let's build this. We can hide sketch 4 and actually let's hide sketch 1. So let's start with this sketch 4, and we're going to outline sketch 4 now. Let's go to right and drag this over. You can click and drag and click those, put them anywhere you want. So now we're going to concentrate on like the outside form of this. So we're going to get into a Bezier curve, and if we have any flats, we'll use lines, to create those. But this shape right here, we're going to use a Bezier curve. We can we don't need these little jagged edges, so I'm going to go without the jagged edges and build it like that. Yeah, I'm going to just work on the outside. I'm going to skip the tire, and it's not going to be perfect, but it's going to be close. So let's go with that first thing. We're going to jump in. Now we're already in the sketch, so we're going to click on, let's go with this guy right here to here. Nice sharp straight line. And now we'll use our line here, Bezier curve or spline, to create that edge right there. And I'm going to click right there on that, and that's locked to that origin point now. If you can trace, you can pretty much do all of this. All right, I'm just going to take this straight down to here. Probably right there. Right click, I'm going to close this, confirm that spline. So now I've got a nice straight. So I'm going to hit L for line. Go here, Actually, it's not even connected, so let me undo that. L for line, click on that guy. We're gonna go way over here, straight line. And we're gonna go straight up, all the way to the back here. That's the rudder. So we can, we will include the rudder. We can cut off the rudder later. But we got like a transition line right here. All right, back to Bezier curve or spline. I'm gonna choose spline. Okay, just keep following, and that's a nice straight line, straight up. Just following it. And I'll finish this spline here down at this area right there, confirm spline. Let's go with line, click in there, go straight up to here, and that kind of does a transition all the way up to here, and now we actually have a spline. I think we can click on spline. Just following the top of that. You can always adjust these spline points after too. They are adjustable. Down to there, snap to that, right click, confirm that spline. So that is our outside line, okay? Should be all one continuous, line and splines. Let's finish this. Let's see if it will let us extrude that out. So we're gonna go over here, extrude, grab that, and we're gonna grab this body right here. Yep, okay, so is the spline's all connected with the lines, and I'm going to pull this let's say 100 millimeters to the one side. Okay, we may have to go a little bit further than that. Let's go 200. All right, so that's the start of our plane right there. Okay, our Piper's got some shape now. All right, so let's go with the very front shape now, or we can do the top shape. Let's do the top first. So now we can actually hide this guy. So we can go click on that guy and click on little eyeball, hide that guy. So we're just going to work on the top image now. And we're only going to work on one half of this, by the way. So, okay, click on top. And we're going to do the same thing. We're going to jump in that sketch. Which sketch was this? We're just going to... There we go. It activated. And then now we're actually in sketch 2. We want to see this right here. So let's click on the top. Let's click on line. So we're going to click the line all the way from the origin straight to the back. Right to, I want it perfectly. There we go. Yep. Sounds good. It's black, because black means it's constrained. So it won't move easily without you removing the constraints. So this is the constraints. Okay. Let's go and start with our spline here. So make sure everything is connected. And like I said, we're going to skip this little, when we see little jumps like that, we're going to skip them. Here we see the transition start. What's going on here? It looks a little strange. I'm going to finish that sketch. Finish that spline actually. And then now I'm going to build a line from here all the way up. We start transitioning a little bit here. So I'm going to take it there. And then got a little curve going on. Just kind of building the line after line here. And I'm just going to skip that. I'm going to go straight back to the back. Here. I see what it's doing, but it's excluding the rudder. So this is the rudder here. L to get out of that. So let's see. Should we build this rudder or not? Let me think. Select the entire plane. We can work on that rudder a little later. So let's just we'll add some detail to it, but it's not going to be perfect. So we can go with let's go spline again. Here. Confirm that, right click and confirm. Okay, that's good. Finish the sketch. Now we can take that and extrude that body out. So let's go to extrude, click in the body, and we're going to do a symmetric extrude, and we're going to take this, let's say 200 millimeters each way. Green check. So this is a solid new extrude, 200 millimeters. Okay, there we are. So now let's bring in that the invisible part. We're gonna bring that back. Okay, and now notice these two are not touching. It usually is better if they are, you know, closer to each other. So let me go fix. Actually, I want it to pass through. So let me go to extrude 2, and I'm actually gonna pull it more. Yep, I want it to go through everything. So perfect there. Yep, that's exactly what I want. So now we got these two pieces that are through each other. They stop right there. So this blue one stops right there. So now I can do a intersection and find what is intersecting between them and keep only the intersection. Intersect, click this guy, green check, and let's hide our sketches. So we can go over here, we can left click, right click, and then hide all sketches if we want. Okay, that's half of our Piper. We can mirror this now. So let's go with, I'm just going to mirror it, but this is only for just to show what it's going to look like. So here, we're going to mirror it about this plane right here. Green check, and there's our front of our Piper. Okay. We got a rudder here. We're going to work on that rudder a little bit later, but it looks fairly good. I like it. If you want to add some, you know, fillets and rounds to it, yeah, that you can do that. I'm going to undo this mirror for now. Actually, what I can do is I can Control Z that and suppress this, just kind of hide it. We'll come back to it. And if you wanted to, for 3D printing purposes and stuff, you could make this hollow. So let's go with the hollow shell. This guy right here. Faces to remove, this face, and then we can tell it how thick we want it. So if we wanted to like 0.8, which is, you know, 2 nozzle thicknesses, that's how you can make that. And then of course you gotta tweak this and make it, you know, to whatever you want. 0.8 thickness might be crazy thin for this, so you may want to go with like 2. Let's try 2. The wings themselves, we want to have them very thin and probably printed in vase mode or something, but okay, let's start with the wings now. Oh, sketch 1, there we are. All right, sketch 1, let's go front, and we're kind of looking at that. The scale was off, so let's go back and click on sketch 1. That 1000, we're going to change that to 800 and see what happens. How's that? That's getting better. So this should be the same pretty much. Because this is a chopped image, we don't have the full image of it. We're just trying to match up this line with this line right here. So actually what we can do is I can delete that sketch 1. I can delete that point right there, 800, delete that, and I can put a point right here. Here to here. And then we get a dimension from here to here. And then that dimension we'll have to pull out from the 3D body. So let's go over here. Let's find the dimension of that body. So go down and measure. We're going to click on that body right there, that surface right there. And it's telling me that it is in the X direction. We are basically 59.3. So I can left click, right click, copy that, get out of that. And then we can go back, double click on that sketch 1. We're back in sketch 1. Now we can 2 times click on that, Control V, paste, and that snaps it to the right size. Green check. And now we should be we should be almost exact. Yep, so that looks really good. All right, so now we can actually pull this image down a little bit. It looks like we're a little high. So I'm going to pull it down just a tad bit with the rest of the body. There it goes. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Okay. And now we want to work on that wing. All right, so to work on that wing, I'm going to actually import another image, and that image will drop it right on the right sketch here. So let's do sketch right, and we are going to do a I chose right, yeah. Then we're going to do a file import. Actually, hold on a second, we already got insert image, and we should have, we may have to play around with this, but wing edge, here we go. We're going to click on that, and just going to drop this in here and look. All right, we'll probably have to rotate this. Let's see, let's go with flip this here. So we probably got some sort of constraint on here, so let's click there. Yeah, it chose that as horizontal. Click on that, delete that. Let's change, click here, and now let's click that as horizontal. So there we are, now we're snapped. All right, so now we got to match this size up with the model. So we are going to pull this down. It's scaled rather large. So let's fit this size here, left all the way here to here. It's going to fit from here to here. So we're going to create like two points and find the distance that it is currently. And then we're going to rescale this to that size, okay? So let's get doing that. Let's create a point here, right there, and then all the way back here. Let's create a point right there. Yeah, right about there. Okay, now we hit D for dimension. This is just going to give us our reference size. So we're at 267, right click. Let's do Control C to copy that. Get out of that. We don't really need that. So let's Control Z to undo those. Get rid of those points. Undo, undo, undo. Now I'll actually go here. We'll create a point here, point 1. And all the way in the back, point 2. D for dimension, here to here. Pull it up, right click, Control V, not right click, Control V, paste, enter, and you see how that snapped it to size now? Perfect. So let's grab this and let's get out of this dimension. But now we can grab it and pull it around and fit it into our position here. It's still got the dimension, which is good. We'll keep that there. That's just a reference size. And we'll kind of plant this to wherever it fits. Looks really good there. Let's see. Looks like it's slightly angled. And so we could actually remove, I think, the constraint. Is there this guy right here? Let's see if we can delete that guy. Can we rotate this? I don't think we can actually. We'll probably have to, no, can't rotate it. But what I can do is I can rotate it after I create the 3D body. So right now we're just kind of throwing it on there. Like, so I can see both of them, which is pretty cool. Okay, click there. That's great. So now what I'm going to do is sketch this out, and then we can pull a 3D body out of this. So let's go with our Bezier. I keep saying Bezier, but it's spline. We're going to create right there on the tip, and just kind of, I don't want it to snap to anything else in here, just to that, to what I'm doing here. Just to the body, it's the 2D. Just following the swing here, we can go all the way down here. And right click, and we're going to confirm that, and we're going to hit L for line, make a nice straight line going straight down, and then L, oh, we already have an L, straight over until we start seeing this curve. Now we're going to hit that spline here, kind of following it up. It's not going to be perfect because we're dealing with a kind of ugly looking bitmap, but we're getting there. click right there, right click, and confirm this spline. There we go. All right, so now we can finish the sketch. If you want to name these sketches, we can name them. We can call this wing. Oh, what happened there? It just flipped the whole thing on me. All right, tried right there. Edit. Wing. Okay. All right, so now what we can do is we can go to extrude, grab that new wing shape we just made, or if it's not allowing me to select that, I could either one, hit the tilde key, should let me get that wing right there, or two, I can go over to the wing sketch and extrude that way. So let's pull this out. All right, I'm just throwing it on there. Okay, we know this wing size is in our PDF, so let's open our PDF and take a look at that wing size. Is 1800. Okay, there's our wing size here. Undo that. Wingspan is 1800. Okay. All right, so we'll do half of that. So let's go extrude. We're gonna choose that 900. Green check. All right. Did that take? Yeah. All right, so there's our wing. And now we can tweak that wing if we wanted to. The wing doesn't seem to taper off and get smaller, but it is. There are a couple of things. Actually, it unioned itself to the body here, which I actually don't want. I want to double click on this guy and I want to do a new. So it will be a separate body. Now we'll have two parts. So we can call this wing. We can right click on it and we can go with a rename. We'll call this wing. Okay. So now that wing, we can see if we look on this front here, we can see we have 1 degree. It's very hard to see here, but in our PDF, it does show that 1 degree angle. Let me pull this guy back in. So right here is our 1 degree dihedral angle. So we will do that. We'll kick this 1 degree. And to do that, I will use this flat face right here, that line, and I will do a transform. So let's go to transform. We're going to do a entity. This is our entity, and we're going to do rotation. And this is our axis right here. So not 30 degrees, but only 1 degree. Green check. And that gave us the proper degree. Awesome. See how it matches that sketch a little better. That's awesome. Okay, so now we have the shape on here. Now we could overlay that shape on here. So let's go and try to overlay that guy and see what happens. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to overlay that top piece onto there. So we want a view. We want to see the top view here. We could create a new sketch on the top view. So let's go with sketch, top, and then we're going to click our insert image, and then we want to click on wing, PNG, and we just kind of click and drag, and that should be it right there. So looks like this is opposite of what we want. This, yeah, this is our leading edge, right? Should be our leading edge. I can't exactly tell. Let me look at the PDF. Let's see what we got here. Leading edge. That is the leading edge. This is the leading edge, so let's remember that. So that's how we'll do it. So right now, this is kind of backwards. Let's Control Z that. I'm gonna try to get it the other way. Okay. Gonna get back in Sketch 5. We Control Z it too many times. Get the image back. We're gonna go with that top, not top. We're gonna go with image, and we're gonna go with the wing again. Click, drag, and I'm looking at the PDF while I'm doing this. So the top of this is the leading edge. I need it opposite. So I think I need to take this image and mirror it. Flip this image. It's kind of hard to tell. Yeah, this is my leading edge. So, and this is my leading edge. So these need to be opposite of each other. So let's try something. Let's do a rotation. Let's see if I can rotate this. Show constraints. Get rid of that guy. Delete. Let's make this guy the. I'm sorry, this guy. Spacebar. This guy horizontal. Now, getting a little better. Now we want to go with this guy. Undo, get rid of that guy. And now I want this horizontal. That is the leading edge. So now we got to mirror this. And I don't think I can mirror it. I don't think I can flip this. Image. Nope, okay, so no problem. To fix that, I'm going to go into delete those two. All right, green check, sketch 5, we're going to do for the shape of the wing. So now let's just go into our image editing program and we're going to flip it. And this is our leading edge right here. Let me double check with the print. So this is closer to the top than this is the leading edge. So what I'm going to do is actually make a little mark here. A little paintbrush. That's leading edge. Okay, and now I'm going to do a flip, image, transform, flip. There we go. All the letters and stuff are backwards now, but it should import properly. So let's do a file, export as, and we're going to do this wing 1. I don't want it to conflict with any other wing names, so okay, export. Now we're going to go back to my other software. All right, so let's re-import that. We're going to go with actually let's try this. Sketch 5, double click, insert image, import. It's another way to do it. Wing 1 with the dot. Wing 1, and there we are. So we want this to be flipped to the other side. Correct. So let's get rid of that constraint. And flip this one more time, hopefully. Yeah, that does it. We'll kind of line this up. So we said 1800 from here all the way here. So let's do that with this. So we're going to scale this now. Let's create a point here on right there. Okay, and then another point at the very tip here. D for dimension here to here. 900. And that should match up. Okay, click out of that. Let's grab this guy and let's finish that. Get out of that. Scroll this, slide this in to position here. Notice it looks a little bit wider. Not sure exactly why, but we work with what we got. So I'm going to pull this all the way to the front edge here. Yeah, strangely, it's slightly incorrect. But anyway, no problem. We're slightly long, and I'm not sure why. Maybe the wings change. I don't know. They all appear the same to me. Look, each one of these is identical in length. So something different, something wrong with the scale, but nonetheless, we'll keep working with it. All right, so let's go our top view, and now we're just gonna do the opposite. We're gonna take this curve right here and create like a block, and that block will subtract out of that out of this solid body right here. So let's start doing that. Let's we are on sketch 5. We're good still. We're gonna start with a spline here. Just follow this curve. Right click, confirm this spline, and let's create like a box that just encompasses everything. Connect it all. Right click, escape line. All right, so now we can actually finish this sketch. We can do an extrude. We're going to extrude this shape right here all the way through to there. So take it right up through it, and then we're going to hit remove. Solid, remove, and we have to tell it what we want to remove it from. We're going to remove it from the wing. Now, why is it having an issue? Might be because we're right on that tip of the line right there. So let's just create a new. We're going to flip it. We're going to hit, actually, okay, that works. We were going the wrong direction. So anyway, solid, remove. So we flipped it by hitting the arrow right there. Green check. And there's our shape. Okay. Now we can add a radius to that and make it nice. I don't know if I have a picture of how that radius is. I'm looking at my PDF. I don't see. I see that. I don't see the curvature of the radius, but yeah, we can add that. Or just add a blend to it. So let's go over there. We're going to create that blend. So let's go fillet, and then we can just fillet that edge. Not all of it. Actually, don't want it all filleted. Yeah, for some reason it's like maybe making it tangent. I don't actually want it. Let's add nice and round, and we might be able to add another round, another fillet to here, just to that edge. Oop. Let's see if I can just stop it from going not tangent, just that edge right there. What did it do? I think it, yep, okay, it did proper. Did what? Click on this guy right here. We don't want tangent. Okay, we'll do one at a time. That guy, and now we want to do the other fillet. This guy and this guy. Not tangent. Yep, perfect. Let's check that guy. Yeah, I think that's, yeah, that looks good. There we go. That's nice. Okay. So there we are there. Now let's combine this here with this body right here. We're gonna see that it's not exactly lined up. If we want to fix that, we have to go back into the sketch, and the sketch will tie it to that top edge. So if we want to do that, we go, not that one. We have to go into wing sketch here. Okay, this guy, go back on the right. Let's tie these edges into the top here. I think we got to do a rotation of this guy, by the way. Because remember we said that it's not aligning perfectly. Anyway, what I'm going to do is I'm going to touch up this edge right here to that edge, and that will make it easy. It will make it basically snap and look identical to the other solid body. Now this is where it kind of deviates. I'm going to let it deviate a little bit. This guy there. This guy here. As I'm doing that, it is moving it to that edge right there, and it is making it coincident. All right, let's finish that guy. Let's look at our new shape of our wing. Okay, it's you can see it's pretty much following that contour, and then slightly changes right there. That's fine. Now we're gonna do a we can do a union. So we're gonna, let's hide this guy right here. So click that and hit Y. Y. Now we can do a union and flip this guy. Let's do a union first. Union this guy with this guy. Green check. It doesn't like it. So union. It's complaining about this edge right here. So let's undo my couple of these things. Let's undo, and then we're going to see this shape change. One more time. Yep, there it goes. So it changed. So now we're going to do that union, and it should come back together. So let's click on the body, this body, green check, union just fine. Let's hide these sketches. Left click Y, left click Y. There we are. So it looks a little strange, but we can, if you want, you can tweak that and make it a little better. And now is the time that we could, let's get rid of that shell first. Click on that, delete, and then we are going to, so that is slightly pushing through. I actually don't want that, but with the mirror command, it should get rid of that. So let's go with our mirror. Where's our mirror at? Our mirror's right here. So part new, enter the mirror, this guy, and mirror plane, this face, green check, it mirrored it, and there is our little Piper. We need at the very end of it, we'll stabilize, I believe. All right, so let's look and get back into our sketch that shows that detail. That shows a little bit detail of it. Okay, so now we can match our other image up to this image, and we should be able to get that those completed. So let's insert another sketch on this top view right here. So sketch, top. Now we're going to grab that last image, that tail, and we're going to drag and pull it into here. Let's see. I think we got to flip it. Yep. So we will move this. Let's show our constraints. Undo that. Let's show this one as horizontal. Oh, hold on. This one, spacebar. This one, horizontal. Then delete that. Then this guy, horizontal. And there we are. That should be it. So this V shape. Yeah, that, I think that's right. So let's pull this into here. Let's see how that looks on top. Does that look right? Look, yeah, I think so. Let's scale this guy. So we're going to this point and that point. Yeah, okay. This point and this point are identical. So we want to make those the same shape, same size. So let's do that. And then we'll line it up after. So let's do it 2 points. Point 1, point 2, D dimension here to here. This does the scale. Let's go with 100 just off the bat. It's a little bit more. So we should be able to get out of that and drag this. Okay, we see it's just slightly under still. So we're going to go with 120. Drag it. How does it look compared to that? It's actually bigger now, so we're going to go with 110. We're just trying to scale it, and that is nearly perfect. Let me go with 112. I like that. That's good. Okay, so we'll just drag that and plop that right there. Perfect. Cool. Looks good. So now we can actually modify that and make that the shape we need. So let's go with sketch. Click on stop view. Let's go with spline. And there is a flat in here. I'm gonna start right here. We can create yes, we just have to create half of this, so it will be perfectly symmetric. That's how we should do it. Let's spline. So I'm going to start the spline at the curvature, the first curvature. Take it right to that right there. Right click, confirm that spline. And we are going to create a line here to here, straight. L to get out, L to start one. We're going to click right there and go straight back. L. So now we're going to do a trim. We're going to trim these two guys. M. Trim that. Okay, and we will finish off this spline. Wait, the L spline, not L. Right there. Just kind of following this curve. Okay, right there. We click confirm that spline. L here to here. M to trim that. Trim and trim. M trim is right here. Okay, so now we can copy that, extrude it. So let's go with finalize that sketch. Extrude that. Extrude this body right here. Not going to add, just go with new. Thickness, I'm not exactly sure of the thickness yet. I'm just gonna keep it 25. I'm gonna look for something real quick and see if I can find what thickness that they have. If I have any information on a scale or anything like that. Yeah, I do. The very front view I have scale. So I can get the thickness of it right there. So let's go with that front view. That guy. And then we'll create two dots here and see what thickness that is. So let's go with let's get into this sketch. Sketch one, double click. Go and create two dots here and here. D for dimension here and here. We are at 8.5. Perfect. We can control Z all of those. Get rid of those. 8.5 green check. We're just going to make this 8.5. Hold on. Yes, 8.5. So we're going to go back to that extrude right there. Not that one. Go all the way down. That extrude right there. And 8.5. Green check. Let's do a right view or front view. Let's look and see how that is sitting. Okay, it looks like it needs to be up quite a bit. So let's, we're going to move it up. So we want it up there. And to do that, let's go to this extrude. And we will simply go with the starting offset. And we will push it up, let's say a little bit more. So let's go with 30. We want to just kind of hover over that other one. 35, 40, 42. Yep, 42 looks good. So we're going with a starting offset of 42 and the depth of 8.5. Green check. That's cool. Good, good. And then we'll mirror this about that body right there. So let's go with that. or we can mirror it about plane, this guy right here. So let's mirror this guy. Mirror plane is this guy. Green check. There we are. Let's do some unions if you want to. I'm going to union it, and then union this guy to this guy and this guy. Green check, and now they're all one color. I can click on this and hide it. Click Y. You can hide your planes too if you ever want to. Left click, right click, and hide all planes. Okay. I can hide this guy too. Y. Perfect. So now we might be able to adjust this here level with the wings. So let's go with the replace face that guy and replace him with those wings. Let's see what happens. Nothing. Didn't like it. So anyway, if you want to tweak that, you can tweak that by going in and modifying that wing sketch. So if we tweak this just a little bit, we pull this guy up a little bit, just a little bit. Watch, when I finish, it will tweak the image, makes it a little bit better. So let's do that one more time. Let's pull this up. I'm gonna pull this guy up, and that guy. Let's see. Right view. I'm gonna pull this guy up a little bit. There we go. Green check. It might break the model, but you could see it's definitely making a change to that area, which is cool. That's nice. So we can actually lower this one and we can get a better view of it. But yeah, so this shows you how you can take your 2D PDF and make a 3D model out of it. So, and then we could go further and section this off and make a 3D model that is printable, 3D printable. And we could actually try to fly this if we wanted to. But this shows you how to build your 3D model though. So this is just a start. If you want me to build more models like this, let me know in the comments, and like and subscribe, and thanks. Bye.